Sometimes I wonder if it's morally wrong to move abroad, if it's wrong to leave the country I grew up in and have spent my entire life in and try and start a new life somewhere else. I grew up in this country. It's given me everything. It's given me my childhood, my community, my job. It wasn't until recently in life I began to wonder, would my life be better somewhere else? And there's a lot of guilt and moral implications and long nights spent wrestling with my own thoughts about this, so I thought I would present it on video today. When you move abroad and move to a different country, you have to take into consideration that the home you are renting could have gone to a local. And some people say that you are pricing out the locals. You know, they say you're bringing your American dollars and you are purchasing something or renting something that a local couldn't afford. Whether or not this is true, I'm not really here to discuss today. But it is an argument that could be valid. It is worth thinking of the moral implications, right? So the way I see it is I'm just a guy who makes music. I'm not buying 100 apartment units to rent them out for short-term holiday rentals. You know, I'm just one person. I don't want to move somewhere and just take. I want to give back. I want to learn the language. I'm going to be learning Portuguese. I want to not just go to the trendy capybara matcha cafes or whatever is popping up in the touristy areas, right? I want to go where the locals go. Why would you go and move to a place just for the theme park version of it, right? I want the authentic Portugal. That's just me. That's how I like to travel anyway. I don't want to come off as, no, it's different because of, I'm doing it this way. But I truly think that if you go in with the right intentions, I think that goes a long way. You're never going to make everyone happy, especially on the internet. And that leads me to my next point. When I tell people in real life that I'm moving abroad, 90% of the time, people respond positively. They respond with curiosity. They say, that's really cool. There are some cases where they get a little defensive, like, why would you ever leave? But for the most part, in real life, telling people you're moving abroad goes over very well. And then you go to the internet. I found that some people online like to project their anger and fears onto you. Some people will say that you hate your country or that you're not patriotic and you're turning your back on where you're from. I really don't think wanting a better life for yourself means that you have to hate the place where you're from. And on the flip side, when you're immigrating to a country, some people might say that, oh, well, you're just rich or you're naive. You think that moving abroad will fix all of your problems. It's all very annoying and it weighs on me. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, it just all rolls off my shoulder and it doesn't affect me at all. Deep down, as humans, we all want to be liked, right? And when we get comments that kind of goes against that, we wonder if maybe we're in the wrong. You know what I mean? I do think there's a big difference between running from something and running to something. I am so excited to move where I'm moving. I could talk for 2 hours about all the things I love about the place that I'm moving to. And I think that makes a big difference. I think if you're just trying to get away from something, then you might go to a new place and just find things you don't like about the new place. There's also the fact of leaving your friends and family behind. It is a big thing to leave, because people are just going to keep getting older and you're going to be doing life somewhere else. And I think that is something to consider. And it's heavy to think about, right? I think there definitely is a way to immigrate responsibly. I think this is learning the language, renting from a local and not some huge foreign investment company, supporting the local businesses and integrating into your community, joining clubs and making friends with locals. I think all of these things go a really long way into doing it the right way. So at the end of the day, if you are moving to a new country, there's going to be a lot of noise. Most of it online. I've wrestled with this a lot and I've come to the conclusion that I think moving abroad is not morally wrong. I think there are ways to do it that are better than others. If you're moving responsibly and just being nice and being very conscious of what you do, I think that goes a long way. You're never going to make everybody happy. I think that is something you should accept early on. It's something I'm working on accepting. But if you think that you can make life work better somewhere else, I say you go for it. I mean, we only have one life. We should live in as many places as we want to. So, yeah, that's my take on the subject. My name is Zach. I am moving to Portugal very soon. If you're thinking about doing something similar, I encourage you to stick around. And if you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate if you subscribed. I'm a tiny channel, and every little bit of support helps. Maybe drop me a comment and let me know what you think. If you've moved abroad or you're thinking about it, and what you think about this whole moral conundrum. Thank you for watching, and if you're moving, do it with kindness and an open heart, because I think that is what matters the most. Have a great week, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.